Daddy on Code Black.
You have such a sexy voice.
Oh, I'm just going to make it deeper. She doesn't talk like that, though, right?
She went out
Hand
to
me the
warn us.
scalpel.
Yeah.
And I am Barack Obama.
No.
And I play Dr.
Welcome
Campbell.
back.
Hey.
I'm Rob Lowe. I am an actor, and I play Colonel Ethan Willis on Code Black.
I am Michael Seitzman. I'm the showrunner, creator, executive producer of Code Black.
And recently director.
And directing
right.
tomorrow night's, Wednesday night's finale.
Which you won't
Thank you.
want to miss.
No.
You don't want to miss it.
It's tomorrow night, right?
Yep.
Yes, tomorrow.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
tomorrow. No, it's not.
As
Tomorrow
we
night.
speak, as we
Big
speak.
epic
10
finale.
o'clock. 10 o'clock.
10
On
o'clock.
CBS.
Yes.
Michael Seitzman directing, writing, the auteur.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
You people
It's
on
a
the
really good
East Coast,
episode.
7
You're gonna
o'clock.
dig it.
There you go.
Amazing.
So, should we jump into questions?
Let's answer some questions,
All right.
shall we?
Got the first one.
First question. Go ahead.
Caitlin asks, what are the scenes, moments, or episodes that touched you the most
Wow.
this season? Oh, Jesus.
Who wants to take that?
Gosh, that's a question I want to turn back around to the audience and see what
Yeah,
touched them the
yeah.
most. It's, the great thing is every single episode there is a heartbreak. Just last week we saw the father and daughter doing their wedding dance.
Absolutely.
That absolutely killed me. I particularly loved the little girl Ariel being brought back,
Yeah.
and because Leanne had a connection with her early on, so
Yeah.
I love that, and I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow night.
Yeah.
It may be the scene that touches me the most.
I love the scene in the last episode where the man is dying because his heart is failing, and we can't save his life, but we do grant him the wish, and that is that he can dance with his soon-to-be daughter-in-law. And the music that was playing behind it, and the dance and the tears, it was just. But that's how our writers write on Code Black, and I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. But I mean, like Marcia said, every moment is beautiful.
Yeah, there've been so many. When they did a whole year of this wonderful show before I came on, and when I was looking at the show to see how I could fit in, the thing that struck me most is every damn week. Man, every damn day they're wringing the tears
right.
out of you, and it's not done in a manipulative way. You sort of never see it coming. It's
Human.
it's really the human drama, and I think every week there's something like that.
It's a thing of beauty.
What's your favorite?
Boris doesn't cry, so he doesn't have a favorite.
Boris doesn't cry.
Robot.
He's from Deutschland.
I don't cry.
Kind of emotion here.
You're Deutsch?
Barack Obama does, but Boris doesn't.
Does everyone know that Boris is from Germany?
It's the Germans.
Boris is
Ah.
German.
He's German.
Yes,
English.
a real
What?
German.
How old are you when you learned English?
Ich war 20, als ich hierher gekommen bin.
11.
Amazing.
He was 11.
Yeah.
And so English is your second or third. How many languages do you speak?
I speak 4.
Unreal.
I want to
So
give credit
English
for
is
Yeah,
knowing
he
that you
speaks
just said
French,
11.
guys, as
My
well.
third. I actually said 20.
You
But,
said
but that
20.
was that's an interesting
Fancy,
question,
yeah.
Michael. I mean,
20.
you write some of the episodes, you oversee all of it. Do you have a favorite episode out of all of these?
I think I have favorite moments. I mean, I think everything that you do is sort of a collection of great moments. Whether it's an episode of a show or whether it's a movie, it's a collection of great moments. So I tend to think of it in those terms, or sort of relationship arcs. I love the episode where we meet Campbell's daughter. I think that's a really powerful episode, and I think for obvious reasons it became even more powerful because it has a storyline that's drawn from Boris's own life. I love the episode where we have 2 women who come in, one who's a rape victim and the other is wants to end her life because she's got inoperable cancer. I think that's an incredibly powerful episode. I think 213, Unfinished Business, where we learn about Guthrie's backstory, we learn about his own, the guilt that he carries with him. We learn the secret of his life, and we learn it in ways that I don't think the audience was expecting. When we get to the end of that act, and suddenly, we suddenly look at the entire episode through a different prism. I think that's a terrific episode, and I love the 2-part finale. I think it's just, I think what people have in store for them tomorrow night is very special, and I think that there are things in tomorrow night's episode that you're not expecting, and there are things that both take the show into places that we haven't gone, and then there are elements about the show that take you home.
Here's something that was interesting about last week's Wednesday episode, is when you say what are your favorite moments or moments that have really made you feel, usually they're moments that we understand because we do a table read. Once a week we do a table read and we read the whole script, and then they rewrite little things, but basically you have the structure. Last week's episode had a complete surprise for almost all the actors, which was that we learned last year that Michael has a real wonderful way to use music in the Lion King episode. So this year he found a beautiful song, "Stand by Me," sung by
Caitlin
Kate
Canfield.
McCann from Tennessee, and as it was playing in the dance between the father and daughter, which we knew was going to happen. All of a sudden, we hear Jillian's voice, and we know she's dying, and she's doing, was that the Hippocratic Oath? The actual
Yeah, yeah.
She's doing the Hippocratic Oath, and it becomes her epitaph.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
As Boris is running.
And
because
slow motion.
They had a relationship, and Boris is running in slow motion, which in and of itself was.
I was saying,
Poetic.
It's poetic.
I could watch an
Poetic.
entire hour of Boris running in slow motion. I could.
In fact, there's
runner.
talks about a spin-off of just
Yeah.
Boris
Well,
running.
Boris
The runner.
The runner.
And then she passes, and it was the most, and it was a surprise.
Yeah.
I hadn't known it, and this writing of this epitaph and this Hippocratic Oath occurred on the day that they shot it. Michael suddenly said, "Wait a minute, there's something that we need more, and I have a vision for something, and we're going to do it." That was really incredible.
Oh, thanks. Thank
That's
you.
unusual in television, in an hour drama, to be
Thank
able
you.
to be that
Nimble.
nimble.
Yeah, which is why it's
Exactly.
so good when we hear comments from the viewers like it's unusual to see this on TV. It's like little mini films
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the following that we have, those people who are fans of the show, I think that's why. It's because it just touches them on so many different levels.
It's amazing because what strikes me is that I told you that, Michael, is that like you said, we have these table reads and we get these scripts a week before, but yet every time I watch it, I'm just as touched as if I hadn't read the scripts and I hadn't done the table read.
That's great. I am too. When you're writing something, we have a very similar response as when you're acting something. Is that you have to get into it. You got to get into the character. You got to feel it when you're writing it, and then you surprise yourself, and suddenly you're very emotional. And then it happens throughout the process. And there are times. I mean, yesterday it was a good example. We had the sound mix on tomorrow night's episode. We just finished yesterday. That's how close we are to air. And there's one moment that's going to make you all weep. It's going to make your roof leak. Okay.
Your roof
And it's
like
so,
that.
but really, there's this moment in it where we were watching in the sound mix, and if you just move the music back 3 seconds, just so you start it 3 seconds earlier, and this one moment happens, and the exact moment it's supposed to happen, everybody's crying. But up until you moved it, you were emotional, but it wasn't quite the same. And it's like that sometimes where you're looking at it, everything has to have a certain sort of accuracy to it and a precision. But you just sort of you're looking at it and you go, why am I not feeling it the way I should? And then I was like, what if we just moved the music and so we found the right moment, the exact right moment, moved the music. It was 3 seconds. That was it. It moved 3 seconds.
See, this
and
is the
suddenly
art
I'm
of
crying.
filmmaking.
Yeah,
It
it was
is.
really fun. I looked
something
around at
of
everyone in the mixing
literally.
stage, and I was like, "Did you
3
feel
seconds.
that?"
3
Because
seconds.
I felt
Wow.
Yeah.
it. And you
That's
have to
amazing.
feel it. You can't put it out till you feel it.
Jen's
All right.
got a question.
Next question comes from Jen, and she asks, "What's your favorite thing about your character?"
Ooh. Jen, that's a good one.
Okay, I'm going to start.
Start, I think.
What I like about Dr. Campbell is that
He's in charge. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
obviously he's the answer. But what I love about him is the fact that he has this very strong facade. But as we found out, underneath there's a bunch of layers that slowly are being peeled back, and he's a very emotional and vulnerable kind of guy. Even though people perceive him as this alpha male dictator who runs around the hospital commandeering people around. That's what I like about my character.
One of our cast members, the first season, gave me the nickname of Dr. Wisdom, and I think that my character was constructed that way, that in this family, in this ensemble, that there would be somebody who, for lack of a better phrase, would be sort of the voice of wisdom, and usually he would drop it at the right time, the right moment. And the beautiful thing about my character, like Boris mentioned about his, is anybody who offers that much wisdom has to be in need of something himself. So in season 2, the writers chose to expose what that need was. And I just love that my character is compassion, that he has this sort of fatherly wisdom about him. And I don't know how far a reach he is for me, because my sons say the same thing about me, whether I'm playing this character or not. And maybe that's why I was cast in this role. But that's the beautiful thing about this character, and I
Trying to
embrace
say you
it.
have a lot of wisdom. Is that what you're
Say,
saying?
does his
got a
wife
lot
say
of
the
wisdom.
same thing?
Isn't that
What
That's
Boris
what-
just
That's
said.
what I heard,
What Boris just said.
Does Helen say the same
Yeah.
thing? That's all I want to know.
That's my wife.
He is Dr. Wisdom.
He reads a lot of books, is what he's trying to say.
But that's it for me.
And I think for Leanne, I love what they gave her in the very first episode, in the pilot. They called her that she's a bit of a cowboy. And she's daddy, all those things, but she was a bit of a cowboy. And what that meant to me is that she was slightly reckless. And yet, I think, which I liked, in the pursuit of what she felt was going to save a life, she would be a little reckless. And I like that. I like when characters have little mistakes, little flaws that they can get called on. And then what began to develop is that she's also very, very moral. And I really like that. She's a bit of a moral compass. At least I see her that way. And then it's something Michael gave her, and he gave her a transformative kind of journey. So it's the whole, it's the Peer Gynt arc is what I call it. You start someplace, and then you have ups and downs, but then you end in a enlightened place. And I think she might have a little bit of light coming in tomorrow night.
Daddy becomes mama,
You all have a secret, right? Every character has a secret, so that by design, every character has really big strengths that sit out front, and then a secret underneath. And that's everybody, right? That's not just characters, it's everybody you meet. That we meet people all the time who we think have the whole world in the palm of their hands. And then we find out that they have a secret, and the secret is a tragedy. The secret is, something, a failed ambition. Something that haunts them, because we're all human and we're all haunted by something. Yeah. And so every one of the characters is designed that if we just peel it back, and then we exercise a lot of restraint, so you don't give it all up all at once. So in the pilot, Leanne is asked, "Who have you lost?" and she says, "Everyone."
Yeah.
And in 2:13. Guthrie says to his son, "There's something I need to tell you," and it's the secret of his life. Yeah. In 2:10, Campbell comes in with his daughter, who has spina bifida, and suddenly we see another side of him. In 2:04, we're introduced to the beginning of Willis's backstory. That what happened to him in Afghanistan and losing that boy that he had saved to the horrors of war. That everybody has a secret that we start to unfold very carefully and very slowly, the way real life unfolds. That no one sits down with you at coffee and says, "Let me tell you everything that's happened to me." Right? And I've dated those people, but not a lot of them.
Short dates.
Very short relationships.
Get that one. Let's go to this one. All right. This is a good one. Sandy asks, Sandy, how do you make the show so real? So real is not surreal. And,
we can answer that one.
And how long does it take to film each scene?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing I was impressed with when I was watching the show early on was the fidelity to the truth in the medicine, right? And that we're all playing real life heroes. These people are out there every day at their best when we're at our worst, as Mike likes to say. And we want to be honest and truthful to their world. And I think the show does it really, really well. We have great medical technicians who show me in particular, "No, dummy, this is how you hold this particular piece of equipment."
Wasn't that like a direct quote or something?
That is literally what they say to
Okay.
me. They say, "Don't be an idiot. Your mask doesn't go over your eyes."
I had someone tweet me and said, "You're a really good doctor, but would you please put the stethoscope in the correct way?"
Was that like a nurse or a doctor?
That was someone who worked, in the...
Yeah, that was the one thing I made sure of. I mean, I put the mask over my eyes.
And then, with all that attention to detail, they always bust us on something.
And then in terms of what is the schedule? Is basically we did one show
We
in
do
8
9
days.
9 days. But the reason it feels like 8 days is that our 9th day we
Double
shoot
day.
2 episodes at once. So we shoot the 9th day of the previous episode and the first day of the next episode. So on those days we have about 450 people here because we're shooting 2 episodes at once. And so with extras and everybody else, it gets very full. We have 2 stages at Disney, and so we always have to be careful in the scripts to make sure there's enough material in each script that you could shoot on stage 3 for the double up day. Because sometimes we'll write everything that goes in stage 2, and then we'll look at it and go, well, now we need a 9th day.
Now think about this. Everything that you see is done in like 9 days, so you know that we don't shoot 2-hour days. We got to get everything in, so we shoot an
We
average
shoot
of
12 hours.
12-hour days. That's pretty
Unless
average
you're a
for us.
girl and it's 14 to 15.
It's 14 to 15.
Because
that's
you gotta have the hair and makeup. You know, girls
Yeah,
need a little
right.
bit.
You gotta add hair and
Right.
makeup. That's very true.
It also depends on how many people are in the scene.
True.
You know,
Right.
if you have 12 actors and
Center stage.
100 extras,
That's
it
right.
takes longer than if you have an intimate scene between 2 people. So it just
Right,
depends.
and by the way, people ask all the time on Twitter, why isn't so and so in that scene, or why isn't so and so in more of this episode or that episode? When you start to realize what a gigantic undertaking it is to make this show in 9 days, and you see, you can't see, but I'm telling you that it's very difficult to schedule, and sometimes you just can't give everybody enough screen time to make everyone's storyline completely robust in every episode. So we try to figure out how to do it so that you experience as many of the characters that you love as often as you can, and then when you can, we just kill them. Just kidding. Totally kidding.
Don't send that.
So yeah, that's just all of you tweet.
Hold it down.
Come
Yes,
on,
you-
come on. Give
Phrase
him
telling
is
you.
harder. Go for it.
So I would say full vision.
Thanks.
I would say you get one. You're easy in one word. Presence.
Oh boy, that is true. He has
Right.
such presence. It's really true.
This one, depth.
Heart and depth. Okay.
This one,
Okay.
dignity.
Ooh, that's
Oh,
true.
nice.
I'm going with that.
very
This
good.
one, heroic.
Yeah, that's
G.I.
true.
Joe? There you go.
I'll take
That's
it.
true.
All right.
Action hero.
Good. Should we do the next one?
Yeah, we got here. Drew asks, what's the funniest thing that's happened on set? And does anyone ever play pranks on the show? Well, I became obsessed with those Matthew McConaughey commercials where he was
That's
right over
Yeah,
that day.
yeah, yeah.
I became obsessed with the fact that he kind of whiffed a little bit.
That's
Talking about
That's right.
old song.
That's right.
You know, and then Ben and I went out and shot, and it's on my Instagram
That's right.
feed.
That's
We
right.
shot a
That's
short
right.
film
That's right.
That's right.
in the middle of doing a
center stage scene.
center stage scene, and Louis Guzman is the star of it, and I
Yeah.
play Matthew McConaughey. And
Should we say he plays the bull?
and yeah, Louis plays the bull, old Cyrus.
That's the ball.
I mean, listen, who among us could be old Cyrus the bull?
Yeah.
You know it's going to be Louis Guzman.
That's true.
It was
I wonder if Matthew has ever seen that. I mean, what would he
Yeah, it
think?
was-
He'd
I-
laugh.
He'd laugh.
He'd love it.
He'd laugh. So yeah, we have a ton. I think in a lot of the guest cast when they come in, some of whom I've known through past work, are always the one thing they always say is how much fun we have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think one of the funniest things though was what showed up in the bloopers was you trying to get that one line.
Oh, that
Oh
one
my
was-
god.
All
that-
what was the line?
Taxidermic something.
Toxidermic.
And then he goes-
toxic-
What was that like? Take
Cholinergic
23 to-
toxidrome.
That's it. Now,
Now I can
he'll
say
never
it.
forget
That's
it.
Yeah, what you didn't see in that video was the crowd that had gathered to watch it.
I'm sweating. I'm literally sweating. I'm literally sweating
just
now.
praying that if he just
We're-
got this word, we could all go home.
We're talking about a gag reel that we put together from those funny moments that Drew is asking us about.
They'll
And
be
he-
in the DVDs.
Yeah, and oh, that's right. And if you think about it, there's no way we can for 12 hours a day shoot a show as serious and as complex and as deep as this without us all contributing to some zany moments. And then we try to capture them on film and put together a gag reel. And as Michael said, you're going to see that.
Except me, I'm always very
Boris
serious
is
all
not
the time.
always like
He
this.
is not very serious.
Boris-
I am the most serious.
Boris missed his
focused-
career, his calling as a comic actor.
Yeah.
It's really true.
Yes.
You people who don't know Boris Kojo as a
How-
comic relief, this is the
Boris
guy.
doesn't belong on a 1 hour drama. He belongs on a half-hour
Look,
sitcom.
look, he's-
Like, see, he knows it's true.
Last week we were, Heather got bit, and that's why she died. And there was a great moment. I'll always remember where somebody comes in and goes, "What happened?" And Boris goes, "My surgeon got bit."
And mind you, we were all in our yellow duck suits.
Dying.
that as soon as somebody said action, all the extras started walking their yellow ducks, and
Oh
it
my
sounded like
God.
rain. I was on the floor.
This
I
one couldn't
sank
even-
down on the
Oh
surgeon
my
got
God.
bit.
My surgeon got bit.
He was bitten. He was bit.
In the end, she just turned her back to the
I had to
camera
turn
because
back.
she was like,
all you
okay, I
could see
can't
was
do
me
it.
shaking. I can't keep it together.
And I can't watch that video anymore of you running away with the yellow suit on.
This yellow
That went
suits.
viral.
Who's a prankster? None of us are really pranksters. We don't do stuff like that.
Did anything funny happen with the masks that you guys were wearing? Did you?
They get
Just fogging
Oh wait,
up.
Rob
Yeah.
fogged
Fogged
up.
up. They
Rob,
fogged
that,
up.
that was the other thing that happened that day. Your mask, I couldn't. His mask fogged up completely.
Yeah.
And from certain angles, all you could see were two steam holes right there. He looked like a bull. I could not keep it
It's in the
together.
dailies.
I almost got in trouble. That was
Hysterical.
a
There.
Well, Matt wrote
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
Matt says, "Oh, this is for you, Michael. Michael, what is it like directing a final episode of Code Black?"
You know, we have a table read on every episode, and usually on other shows, the first assistant director will read the action lines so there's action lines that say, you know, interior office. 5 people sit down to give an interview. That'll be the action line. Usually there's somebody else that reads that, but I've always done it on our show because I feel like our table reads feel a little bit like a family dinner. That we all sit around and then I read that stuff, and so then I'm a part of it, and it feels like a family gets together to put on a little play over dinner. We all eat together, and people show up, and there's chairs for everyone to sit in to watch us, and it's really nice. And I think directing the finale felt like that every day. That it felt like a family getting together, and that being able to be, you know, intimate with everybody like that. It just felt like a great way to end the season. That it felt like a terrific bookend, and it felt like a way for us all to be together. And it was incredibly enjoyable and satisfying. It was difficult, but a good kind of difficult, the kind of mountain you want to climb every day, with the kind of people you want to climb it for. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience, and I hope it shows. And I think
What
it will.
I found remarkable about your directing was the fact that how fast you were. Because, you know, a lot of directors come in and they take their
Right.
time and
They
they're
start calling him
intimidated.
Clint Seitzman.
That's
right.
But this one, he first of all, the way his brain works is so visual, and he constructs these scenes that he wrote before, and he changes them in the moment, and they become even better in the moment. And he, like, what did you say? Like, you were in the shower and you had an idea about me running down the hall.
Yeah. That
And
was the
then-
morning of our
Oh, no,
last
this
day.
sounds
where that
this
came
sounds
from.
this sounds a little bit wrong.
I had
What he
an
was
idea
trying to
about-
say, what I'm trying to say.
Sorry.
Which is-
Can you
Let's
just
get it-
repeat
okay.
that
No,
one
no,
more
let's back
time?
this up.
See,
Let's
that
back
stuff
this
gets
up.
around.
What he was saying, he was in his office.
He wasn't the
Yeah.
only one, Boris. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
He was in his office thinking about you. Running.
Yeah, exactly.
running
I wasn't
shirtless
naked.
down the hall. No, I didn't say that. What I meant was he just creates these moments out of thin air, and they become these larger than life moments that end up on the screen. And it's just remarkable how that all happens.
And the beauty for us working with him as the director instead of wearing the hat of the showrunner is that he gave us tremendous freedom on the set, and we didn't need to get a second opinion. When he felt something, actors really love the freedom to do it, and Michael gives us the freedom as the director. He gives us the box, lets us know how far to go, but in that box we get a chance to play it. It was just
That's
lovely
nice.
to work with
And was
him.
writing as he was directing.
Yes.
Rewriting the
Yes.
scenes as he was directing.
And that's why we could keep moving. We could just keep moving, just not having to.
I think I just look at the whole process as authorship, right? So, you know, I think people are very compartmentalized in the way they think about this generally. When you see a lot of times when people come on the show and they like the way that that we make the show, I think mainly if I try to impart anything, it's that it's all authorship, right? Whether you're writing the script or you're directing it or you're acting it or you're editing it or you're putting music on it, that we're all authoring it. And if you think of it in one big piece of authorship, then there are no compartments. You know, you just sort of you just that's why you're writing while you're working. That you know, in that big scene, you know, when we changed it all. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to ruin it for you. It's tomorrow night, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, CBS.
But that was one of those things where it was like, you know, I think we can make this out of this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
again, I'm being careful about what
There's a
I'm
lot coming up.
saying. Yeah, there's a
Can't
lot
tell
coming
you.
up, but
You know what's interesting too is in the directing and the editing is that sometimes the smallest moment becomes something so big that I don't expect it to be
Yeah.
because I look away. So I was thinking about in this last Wednesday, Boris runs. Did we mention that Boris runs?
Yeah.
Right. And he gets to the unit looking through a plastic thing at Jillian,
Yeah.
and you say, "I don't want her to die alone." And then there's this pause, and you don't cut to Rob right away. And then all of a sudden you do, and Rob says, with a teeny little look,
Yeah.
"She's not alone."
Yeah.
It was a huge moment. I absolutely cried in that moment. It was so, it was fast on some level, but it felt elongated and slow. And then you cut to Jillian with the people around her who love her, and back to the Boris. It
Oh,
was,
the editing is
it was
beautiful.
just so
Moments.
beautiful. The editing
Moments.
is so lovely.
And it's that thing of everybody, for that moment to land, everybody has to play their
Yes.
part.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it can't just be the actor, it can't just be the editor, it can't just be the director,
You
it
had
can't just be the
crack.
music, it has to be all of it
Right.
working together.
It's like your face was like earth that cracked in that
Yeah.
moment. It was really, you saw like the whole history of your character.
Yeah, I don't know about you.
As
I'm
well.
getting
It's really
goosebumps.
beautiful.
I'm getting goosebumps. I'm
It's
getting
really beautiful.
I can't wait for tomorrow night.
Okay, Melanie asks, what can you tease?
Oh,
Oh, it's Melanie Chandra's
Oh,
asking.
oh, the way. No, no.
Melanie wants to know.
What do I
what are our
do?
tastes?
Is there a teaser here? Is there a teaser?
Um,
Can we
I
give
think we-
anything?
You got to do this. This is your
Yeah,
this is your episode.
yeah.
You got to tease.
This is, I've said this before, I'll just say this again, which is that the episode plays in a lot of different genres. So it's not just what you're thinking. There's times that it's a horror movie, there's times it's an action movie, there's times that it's a very intimate relationship drama. And it's sprawling.
And by that, and that's by design.
That's by design,
You never get
yeah.
that. You never get
Yeah,
genre swapping
right.
in the middle of an episode.
You should feel like, in a lot of ways, the show takes you on a big ride. People use that expression a lot, but this really does feel that way. That 1 minute, it's incredibly emotional. I'll tell you that it's deeply emotional. But other than that, you don't want me to say too much. You just want to show up and watch it.
I can't wait.
Did we do Erica? Erica says, "What's your favorite thing about working on Code Black?"
My favorite thing is that the response, above and beyond the actual work with this great group, is it's always good to be validated. And as I sort of travel around or as I like reading online, people love this character.
Yeah.
Me too.
And there are people that'll tell me that it's their favorite character I've ever played.
Yeah.
And that's like, I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
And so I love that it's resonated.
Yeah, there's so many dimensions to your character, though, Rob. There's like Boris talks about onion layers and that. We haven't even seen half of it, I don't think. And but you play it so well.
Thank you.
To stay in there until it's time to go deeper than that.
Thank you.
I like that we get to put it on a different play every week. That the nature of the show allows for more, for stories to come into the tent. That things come in, and that the play that we put on is in the same arena as last week, but it's a totally different
Yeah.
play. That it's a different story with a different problem. This week we're on a crane and we have to do an amputation of two brothers, and the next week it's somebody comes in with terminal cancer and they want to take their life, and that each week there's a totally different story within this framework, and that the stakes are so high, so the drama, there's just a lot to play with in terms of emotion and drama.
It's true. There's so much. My mind is a combination of everybody's, because I look forward to coming in and seeing certain faces of the crew, even. And when you would come in, I love the people I work with. I love the family that has been created, and all the way to the end, I love sitting on the couch on Wednesday night with my kids and feeling their excitement and fear and love of the show. This last one, Hudson. When we went in, when you guys went into the, it was a nail salon, but it wasn't a nail salon.
The bodega.
The bodega. When you went into the bodega, Hudson, my son, is going, "There's going to be a scare, right, Mom? Right, Mom?" I said, "Probably." Because there's going to be a face. And, "Oh my God, it's going to come any minute now." He was so titillated and ready for that scare. And then it came, and he loved it. He's like, "Oh!" So and I knew it was coming, but I didn't know how well it would be done. And then it gets sad, and the kids are like, "No, Jillian can't die." And seeing, that's the
It's
full
all part of
circle.
it.
And I love it.
For me, it's a part of what Marcia said. It's literally working with these guys and everybody else. I wish you could literally be a fly on the wall when we work. We have the best crew, in the business. We've got the greatest writers and the editors, and this cast. We're brothers and sisters, and that's why I think it resonates so powerfully on the air, is because what we've created is magic.
And Spencer, our DP, is
Oh,
awesome.
it's
Yeah.
This show looks like, I mean, just pay attention as you watch this episode and then compare it to other things that you're
Absolutely,
seeing.
absolutely.
There's no show on television that looks like this show. No show. No show.
Okay,
It's
Boris,
huge.
what about you?
Beautiful.
What I like about the show is that I travel a lot, and when I go to Germany and other places, the feedback that I get about the show is second to none. Like, I've never experienced
Yeah.
that kind of universal appeal. How people, based on how people respond, whether it's in Germany or in Italy or wherever you go, people know Code Black, and people love the show. They get so attached to these characters, even though my voice in Germany doesn't sound anything like it.
But it's a
Think of the
high-
wrong guy to
a high
jump in.
pitched
Somebody
melodic
else
voice.
in your
You know?
voice in
That's
Germany.
it.
You didn't have approval, right? You said no, not this
Telling
guy.
you, I'm gonna
That's
find
crazy.
the guy.
Boris is
I'm
a
gonna
high tenor in
find-
Germany.
I'm gonna find the guy. Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
So are the people who cast the guy.
Ich
Yeah,
sag nein, ich sag nein.
Oh my God.
Oh, is there one more?
let's see. Is it? Yeah, it's. Chris says, "How should fans prepare for part 2 of Code Black season finale?"
A lot of tissues.
Wow.
A lot of tissues.
Tissues.
Tomorrow night.
Yep, tomorrow
tomorrow
night.
night.
Check your local listings.
Yeah.
Alright,
This is a powerful one.
A little glass of something that hits you in the gut.
Yeah, yeah. I would get the family together. Like at our house, we do like a viewing.
Yeah.
Get your whole family together and view this, because you're going to want to talk about this. I mean, it's powerful.
And I think talk about it. Talk about what you've seen afterwards. Talk about what you liked about it afterwards.
Don't hold
Tweet-
it in. Don't hold it
tweet
in.
about
You
it.
gotta let it go.
Let
You
us
gotta talk
know
about
your
it.
thoughts, because we do this for you. And so at the end of the day, we want to hear what you think and what you felt. And as Boris just said, it is universal. In every country in the world, there are people going through like experiences, battling diseases, battling it kind of trauma, and counting on a medical team to save someone in their family. So talk about it, tweet back, let us know your thoughts, and open your heart, because it's going to touch your heart.
Try to watch it live, because we're all going to be there live tweeting.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for joining this Facebook live chat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else anybody wants to
Don't
say?
forget-
Part two.
Like
Don't
Mark just
forget-
said, tweet us, hit us on Facebook, Instagram. We will communicate back and forth. We love that stuff.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night,
10
See you
o'clock.
there.
10 p.m.
CBS.
Don't miss it.